Hello and welcome, my friends. The Iron Hulk is here bringing you a oh my god, it's a Transformers Masterpiece review. Today we have the Masterpiece MP-10 Optimus Prime. Now, I wouldn't be the only person to be on the line about this figure because there are many people that are skeptical about this much more shrunken down version of Optimus Prime in the Masterpiece line. I personally felt kind of I'm not sure if I felt decepted by Takara. Get it, Decepticon? Meh, meh, meh. But I did feel like they were kind of going the wrong way in terms of, giving the fans what they want. We did get MP-1 and MP-4, which is Optimus Prime, and he's like the big, super huge figure. But Takara decided to give us a much more anime and honestly much more badass version of Optimus with MP-10. I will tell you right now that I do not regret this purchase. This figure is awesome. It's sturdy. It transforms very nicely, and it just looks freaking awesome. If you can't tell by now, the figure has much more of a just. It's still blocky, but he's much more proportional in terms of looking like an actual robot and not just a bunch of blocks. MP1 definitely was just like very blocky. This guy has an edgier anime look to him. Definitely his grill is longer, and it just has a very big anime appeal. And the pose I put him in kind of helps that a bit. Now the biggest difference with MP10 in terms of design is his head sculpt. If we can focus here on his head real quick. MP10 does have a bit more of a G1 faithful head sculpt compared to MP01. The biggest difference here is the eyes. They're a bit more separated and overall much more just tiny, I suppose, compared to MP10s. Now that's not a bad thing. For some reason I do like MP10s a bit more, but this guy definitely looks more G1 accurate in terms of head sculpt. I'm not too sure about the whole design being G1 accurate, but it looks awesome. Like if they were to make a G1 anime in today's time, I would vote for him to look like this, like super edgy, super cool. I love this figure, honestly. But anyways, in terms of like detail and comparisons between the older MPs, this guy does sport more plastic than anything else compared to even Rodimus in MP09. Rodimus was he did have kind of, I'm not sure if it was titanium, but it was some sort of metal on his feet. This guy, I'm not really sure if he does have any metal, but he does have a nice chrome paint job on, obviously you can tell which pieces are chrome. His smokestacks, his chest, and then these small pieces on his leg. But everything else is kind of a solid plastic paint job. But it looks great. It looks, and the sculpting is very well done. What can I say? It's a really nice figure. We'll turn this sucker around and check out some more of his details. I love the way they covered his wheels on his legs. Very cool. And I'm not going to transform him. I'm pretty sure you'll find a bunch of other videos about this. I just want to show off the figure in an HD capture, just so it looks nice. But yeah, so Optimus. Articulation-wise, he does have a nice ball-jointed head. Goes up and down, left to right, blah blah blah. He does have the Rodimus shoulder articulation, except he can't really turn. Like, you can't turn the ratchet joint that connects his body to his arm. So you can't have him go into that many crazy poses. with his arms, but it works. Now he does have nice elbow articulation and a cut arm, so you can, oops, you can do this if you so please. And it goes down, very nice stiff joint, love that. One thing that people were kind of iffy about here was the fingers. The fingers actually do not have separate articulation. They just kind of, they're designed to hold a gun, and that's pretty much it. The only one that's kind of articulated is his index finger, but the other ones just fold on by themselves, which I guess you can say is a step up from Rodimus, whose fingers were all attached. So, I mean, whatever. He can do the, you know, coochie coo or come here, Megatron, blah blah blah. So, there you go. He does have a waist swivel, which works pretty nicely. And then his legs are on ratchet ball joints, same with his knees. And you can also swivel. And he's got really nice swivel and ball jointed ankles. And his feet also bend and whatnot. So really great posability for Blocky Robot. Yeah, what can I say? Really cool. Now, of course, who would Optimus Prime be without the matrix of leadership? Well, good thing they kept it. You can still open the chest up, except it's a bit more difficult this time. I have found, at least on mine, the chest does like to stay on pretty well, which is good. The windows open up, and much like MP-10, you flip this sucker open, and oh, Matrix of Leadership is shown, and looks really, really good. I really like the paint job. They definitely got a nice chrome paint instead of that kind of crappy, shoddy paint job they did with the original one. Really nice. Looks super duper sweet. And the detail in his chest, I mean, pretty nice. There are, you know, small things in this figure that definitely outdoes MP-01. Just the sheer, just tiny sculpting detail, like in his chest here, is beautiful. I really like that. So that definitely kind of outclasses MP-01 a bit. So just close that sucker, close the windows, and boom, there you go. Very, very nice. Oh yeah. So, of course, for the high price tag, this guy goes for about 250 bucks. What? Yeah. Pretty expensive. That's why I was kind of not sure about this figure, because he's not big, which is the biggest, I guess, step back. Is that he is the same size of Rodimus, Grimlock, the Seekers, blah blah blah. So, so that was kind of a drawback, but he does come with his trailer, which is right here. We'll move Optimus out of the way for now. Don't worry, he'll be back. Just gonna show off the super sweet trailer. I really like this trailer over the MP-01 trailer, and I'll tell you why. Once again, just more detail, more attention to just gimmicks and stuff that work a lot more for this figure than it did for MP-01. One thing that people were kind of a bit iffy about was the Autobot symbol being here. I honestly don't give a damn if it's on the roof. It looks cool. It tells you that it's Optimus Prime, or that he's an Autobot, okay? That's all we need to know. I don't care if it's anywhere else. Nice detail on here, nicely sculpted lines, and they even put the small, dots and mesh and everything just to give it a very realistic feel. The tires are made of rubber, and they have a nice chrome job on them as well. So to spin to the back here. The doors do open, and I will open them in a second, but just showing off the detail. Beautiful, Very nice. So before I show you off the inside of the trailer, I will show you one cool thing that you can do to hold his trailer up when it's in a sort of open mode. You pull out these small trench things here, and the cool thing is they even have like a spring thing that pushes them down. Look at that. That's so cool. So it does, you know, it's a super nice trailer. And jeez. You know, there's always that one guy who rides like his shitty bicycle turned motorcycle thing every day by my house. It's so annoying. Anyways, so yeah, this thing's really cool. But to get to the actual coolness of the trailer, we open up the doors, which is, you know, everything in this like figure is really hard to open up. So we open up. Oh, look who we have! Oh, I said open. There we go. The details on the doors, inside of the doors, very nicely sculpted as well. And who do we have here? Oh no, not yet. Don't look. Before I show you off Roller and Spike, who is the extra addition here, you can pull out his small little thing here, which I love. I love how they did this. So great. And it just goes down like that. Isn't that cool? And you can have Roller just roll down. It goes whee, and then yeah. But back to Roller and Spike. I like the way they painted this. Really cool. They added some small detail in the front here. The cool, they have a cool emergency red light thingy here, and it rolls fine. So he can keep his name. He does roll. Nice detail on the bottom here. And yeah, very cool. Spike, well, Spike Witwicky. I like how they gave us a show accurate figure here, finally. He's extremely tiny. Just for comparison, I do have a Sergeant figure from the Human Alliance, and these guys are tiny. So look at him compared to. Well, that's kind of dirty. Let's do that. Look at him compared to. I'm not sure if his name's Sergeant Recon or I think it's Sergeant Recon. He's super duper tiny. And the funny thing is, these guys go with the much smaller scale Human Alliance figures compared to the MP-10 Prime, but you know, whatever. So he does have swivel arms, and he can sit down and bend his knees and whatnot. That's pretty much it. His head doesn't move. He's just a tiny little figure, but it's a nice addition. I'm glad that they added the figure because it does fit the G1 sort of, you know, aspect of Optimus Prime. So, and he can sit in here. When Optimus is transformed into a cab, he can hop into the cab. Yeah, so he is a accessible action figure for the vehicles. Okay, let's put these guys aside and let's open up this trailer. It just kind of opens up. You might think you're breaking it, but you're not. It just, like I said, just kind of opens up. Very difficult to open up. I usually like to press these guys in, and it helps open this thing up a little bit easier. There we go. So this station opens up and reveals a somewhat nostalgic sickbay for Optimus, except if you haven't noticed already, an extremely detailed sculpt on the base. I mean, when I open this thing up, I'm like, whoa, what? It's so nice. You look at the panels here, look all the detail on the sides. It's amazing how they were able to pull that off. I mean, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You still got this guy here. If you've had G1 Prime or MP-10 or any other version, this guy will be pretty noticeable to you. But one cool thing he can do here is you can open up his thingamabobber, and you can put little Spike here into the machine, and you can help cure Optimus Prime. Cool. A little blade thing comes out here, turns around. So that's really neat. Cool detail on that as well. One thing I'm hiding here from you guys, and I'm gonna put this 6A upwards, is it's also a weapons bay, believe it or not. So you can see his Energon axe here, which fits nicely, just kind of hard to take out, but there is a fitted sort of sculpted area right here for the spikes to go into. And then on this side you have his super tiny gun, which does fold up, but we'll get into that in a bit. In the comparison, here is MP-01's blaster, so you can see the big difference. There's a huge difference. But, yeah, you know what, it doesn't bother me too much. I do kind of like how this one has some sort of feature to it, and this one's just kind of plastic, gray, hollow, yeah. So, yeah, so the detail on this sick bay is super well sick. So we'll push this guy aside here, and we'll bring back old Primey to go along with his super sweet sick bay. And to attach the Energon blade, you have to there's a sculpt inside the blade that fits with his fisted hands. Doesn't matter which side, but you just have to get the fist right. So this goes this. Which way does this go? It goes like this. So you can have his blade like that, and I think it looks pretty spectacular. Yep, corny word, but it does, doesn't it? Doesn't that look cool? Definitely anime again. The whole spike thing coming out. It has an action to it, which I think is really cool. The gun itself fits into his hand like MP Rodimus. It does have a small bump here that nicely fits into his hand. You just have to open the sucker up here. Kind of difficult. One thing I'm glad about this guy is his joints are very stiff, and I'd like to keep it that way, because a loose transformer is not a fun transformer. And his finger just fell off. Ha! Irony. Just stick it back on there. And there we go. Super cool. Super, super cool. You can also store the gun in his back here. He does have a small slot that opens up. There we go. And you can fit the gun in there. Looks super nice. So yeah. All kinds of stuff with this guy, I swear. Really, really cool. One thing I'm kind of disappointed about is he doesn't have the mouth movement thing in the back. I thought that'd be really neat if they could have added some sort of, maybe a bit different animation style for his mouth movement. But whatever. Unfortunately, they can't. So, size comparison. Here he is with Classics Henkei Prime. As you can see, he towers over him quite easily. So, there he is. Hey, move your Energon axe, dummy. Still a great figure. I really like Henkei Optimus. But you can see which one is the more accurate, screen-accurate figure, of course. Really nice, though. And one major comparison, I have the MP-01 Optimus Prime, who I'm not even sure if he can fit in here. Let's see, we'll move this guy over. As you can tell, this guy is not even going to fit. There you go. So, these guys are vastly different, and at the same time, very similar because they are of the same character. One thing I do love about MP-10 is that he keeps a very sleek and, dare I say it, sexy look. He's very, edgy. MP-01 is just a box. A very cool box, but, I guess I do like the size of MP-10 overall, after all, because he does fit nice, he fits with Rodimus and Grimlock and Starscream. All we need now is Megatron. If they can do a nice version of Megatron, it'd be forever their slaves. But, of course, he does miss the light-up function on his Matrix. The mouth movement piece was like my favorite part of MP-01. He doesn't have that. But at the same time, you just compare these figures. This guy, he's made half of die-cast. Sure, he's nice and fancy. But this guy just looks like a cooler figure. No offense to MP-01. But I just really like the way this guy looks. Enough said. That's it. So, I mean, it's up to you. If you're a huge Optimus fan, which I am, I'm just a huge Transformers fan altogether, pick him up because unlike Rodimus, this guy I feel will be like a sleeper hit. I think people are going to start catching up and be like, you know what, maybe we should get this Optimus. And I feel that he's going to start selling out. I could be wrong, but I really do think that he's a great figure. And Takara, while they don't aim to please us all the time, this was definitely a pleasant surprise, and I am 100% happy with this figure. Really no complaints. So, that's my review, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you guys one quick shot of the three here, just so you can see. And that's pretty much it. My review is done. I'm not sure what I will review next, but it shall be creepy because Halloween is coming! Oh yeah. So, my friends, until next time, the Iron Hulk is signing off. Adios.